are having a blessed day. It is dark here on the mountain, and we are here with our next little project. We are here with another 1930 series posy, and of course you don't need to use 1930s fabrics for this project. You can use anything that tickles your fancy. So here is our next little posy, and I always refer to these as Rose of Sharon, but a lot of the traditional old-timey style blocks call these roses, and I guess they're more akin to the old tea rose. I just think that they're lovely, and I think they're very sweet. And I drew this. This is my original pattern, and I used hearts to draw this out. So you need 2 rose colors, or 2 whatever flower color you want to use. One of mine is going to be purple, and the other one is going to be red. And then you need a yellow center, or an orange, or a white center, any center that you want to use. There are 4 leaves in this, and then there is your 8.5-inch background. All of these blocks in this series are on an 8.5-inch unfinished block, and the majority of them are raw edge applique using fusible, because that's the easiest way for me anyway to do applique, and it allows me to use my own creativity in designing the blocks rather than just picking out a block out of a book and handing it to you. I like to be as creative as possible, and I'm even more creative on my Patreon. So that's a nice segue. We are going to be thanking our patrons for supporting the channel. I want to say thank you to Polly, Catherine, Nancy, and Claudia. They are our newest patrons, and you can see right up there, that is our first wild and wacky bird herd bird that is being introduced over on Patreon. And I hope folks are going to have a fun time with this, because I had a lot of fun designing these. I giggle. It could be 3 o'clock in the morning and I'm drawing in Illustrator and I'm just giggling to myself because I think they're so stupidly cute. They're just silly birds. So anyway, we are going to get to work on our block. That is our sample block. And I wanted to give you a little bit of a hint. I was looking for background fabrics, and they all seemed quite bright and colorful. And I was looking for something that was a little bit more subdued so the flower would stand out. So what I did is I turned it over. So it still gives you a nice background, but it lets the flower stand on its own. This is our sample block, where we're going to go do the thing with the fusible. So we're going to trace all of the pattern pieces onto the fusible, and then we're going to cut out the fusible, and we can cut it out into color groups. So you'll have 4 hearts that are in color A, and then you'll have 4 hearts that are in color B, and then you'll have 4 leaves, and then you'll have the yellow center. So you can put them on the chosen fabric that you want on the back of the fabrics, iron it down, and then you're going to cut out all your little pieces, and then you're going to take a pin and you're going to score the paper on the back of the fusible. Not dig, you're just going to score the paper so that you can get your fingernail under there, and you're going to peel it off. You're going to place it down on your ironed background, and it's going to be ironed in half in both directions to help place the flowers. We will get to doing that right now. I have my flower center here, and I've got my 4 leaves, and I have color A and color B, and here's my background. And this I'm leaving right side up, otherwise it would be much paler. This is a real pretty pattern that looks like little wildflowers in a meadow, and it's got some bees in it, and I just think it's adorable. Let's cut out our flowers, or our leaves. And yes, I did waste some, but here's a little tip for you. Obviously, don't save these little tiny pieces like that. That's just kind of silly. But you can save the larger pieces with the fusible on it. Put it in a separate tote. that is just for fabric with fusible on it. And if you want to do a collage quilt, or if you want to do a free-form fused project that is just real quick and fun where you're cutting random shapes down, you can get a lot of use out of these pieces. So if you are inclined to want to try collage, or say one of my landscape quilts, you can use this fabric. There's still, you know, there's a good inch running down that edge there that's quite usable. So that's a good tip, especially if you're new to quilting and you don't have a lot of fabrics, you really don't want to waste it. And if you can use it in another project, why not? It already has the fusible on it. I do plan on trying a collage quilt. I think the collage quilter is just spectacular. I love her work. Emily Taylor is her name, I believe. Very, very talented. Okay, so there are my leaves. And no, I'm not saving it. I have more. Okay, and you can just lay these down for right now. We're not doing final placement. The paper is still on the back. For right now, we're just getting a guesstimate of where we're going to put stuff. So I do hope you all are enjoying this series. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I do prefer the fusible. I can try my hand at, you know, doing more pieced designs, but I'm much more confident with fusible. I've done it a lot. I've done a lot of quilts that are raw edge applique and fused down. The biggest one I did has actually been published, and that was the quilt that destroyed my neck. After I finished that one, I ended up having my neck fused. And a few years after that, my entire spine, my lower spine was fused. I had steel rods put in to correct my scoliosis. I have a busted tailbone that they said they couldn't do anything for. But I tell you, boy, that thing really, whoa, that thing can scream at times, especially if I fall and land on my butt. And again, if you don't like to sew, but you're interested in trying this, if you're using a strong fusible or a permanent fabric glue, you can do this and not do any sewing. Just glue it down and be done with it. If you're making a table topper, a table runner, or a little wall quilt, you can get away with not sewing these edges down. If you go outside or inside these lines accidentally, it's no problem. The only person that's going to know that it didn't match the pattern perfectly is you. And it's a flower. All the petals are different. And I challenge each and every one of you to go out and find God. Find flowers. When you look at like a daffodil or the yellow bells, what we call forsythia down here, or the red bud trees, the daffodils, the tulips, the hyacinth, even the dandelions. Go out and take a really close look and a real up close and personal look at your grass, and look at the tiny, tiny, tiny flowers that are hidden among the blades of grass. And just appreciate the immense amount of detail that God put into that flower. And those flowers really don't have any purpose other than for enjoyment. Like a daffodil or a tulip, he did that just for us, just to show us how much he cares. So go out and find God in your yard today. Take a photograph of it and post it to the Facebook group, The Flock, so that we can share and appreciate you finding God. It's just amazing. When I think about God in that way, the entire world becomes a wonderful, wonderful place. So we're going to take a straight pin, and we're not going to dig, we're just going to score. Just like that. And now you can see the split in the paper, and that just peels right off for you. Okay? Now you have to find some place to put that piece of paper because it's statically charged, and it will stick to you and follow you around all evening.
Looks awful, doesn't it? Thank goodness Static Card helps me look my best.
There's another leaf. Okay, and I'm going to place these about an inch or so from the corner. You can move them around to your liking. And I think we'll put the light pink in the back. And I'm going to put them, I guess, about half an inch from the very center. And again, we have the ability to move these around as much or as little as we like. There are our first layer of petals. And now these are going to go very close to the center and like that. All right. Oh, I think that's so sweet. I do like that a lot. And there is our center. And if you are happy with that placement and have to walk over to your ironing board, take your pattern and slide it under. Okay, that way you can move it without it landing on the floor. So I'm going to go iron this down and I will be right back and we will start sewing around it. Okay, everything is fused down and I think it's real sweet. I don't know now. I think block number 4, block number 3, and now this one, I can't pick my favorite. I'm just enjoying this series so very much, and I hope you are too. All right, so I am going to be using my Bernina 770, and I'm going to be using stitch number 6. It is a triple straight stitch, and it looks nice. I'm going to be doing it about between 1/8 and 1/16 of an inch away from the edge of the fabric. That doesn't look too bad. And you don't have to go fast if you are worried about working your way around a curve. I've used this stitch a lot recently, so I'm familiar with how it works and where my machine starts and stops. Okay, there are the leaves. Now I've got to change my threads and I'll be back. Okay, we are ready to start on the flower. I've changed to a nice bright pink. Okay, there are our outer petals, and now we're doing the middle ones. And if you want to change to a yellow to do your center, you can do that. You could do, if you have any fancy stitches that kind of look like French knots or something, you could do that. Anything you like here. And there we have it. There is our next posy, and I think this one might be my favorite. I just love it. I think it's so sweet. I just don't know, YouTube. I don't know if I like the purple one or if I like the red one more. I'm kind of leaning towards the red one, but I had so much fun with this one, and I hope you do too. Here you can see all the stitching on the back. And you can, of course, if you're worried about puckering, you can use some interfacing or stabilizer. I would recommend a tearaway, and just have fun with this. Have fun with this block. Make a whole quilt. I mean, if you made, maybe like 5 by 6, you'd have a baby quilt, and they work up real fast. But I just love it. I think it's adorable. So, on that note, I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank you all so very, very much for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't, please do go ahead and hit that little subscribe button, and please ring the bell so you get notified when I post new content, and give the video a like, and please do leave a comment. Your comments just make my day. They lift my spirits, and I just so look forward to posting a new video so I get to read all the comments. You all are so wonderful and so kind. And please do consider joining us over on Patreon for my exclusive content. I've got some crazy, wild and crazy bird patterns that I'm putting out right now, and we're going to be having a lot more fun. And you can also join our Facebook group, and all that information will be in the video description down below, and I will try and put a card up on the video also that you can click on to pop over to the Facebook group. And I would love to challenge each and every one of you to go out and find the Lord every single day. Take your camera, go out into your yard, get down on your knees, and tell me what you see. Look at the beauty. Appreciate the minute, tiny little flowers that are hiding amongst the blades of grass. And look at their immense detail. If you have a good camera, you can take a macro of the picture and you can blow it up on your television and really look at the details. You could actually take photos of all those little tiny flowers and use them as patterns to give you inspiration for a new quilt. And just enjoy yourself and enjoy the wonders and the gifts that the Lord has given us. I'm just amazed every single day. I know I talk about flowers a lot, but flowers and butterflies, that's God. There's no, what's the reason for a daffodil if not for enjoyment and beauty, and just because he could. So enjoy it and appreciate all the wonders that God has given us in this world. And I challenge you to go out and photograph it every single day and post it to the Facebook group so we can all learn about what you found and learn about your day. And don't forget to post photos of your projects. I love seeing the work that you all do. I hope you have a very, very blessed day. And I hope the Lord shines his light and sends his beauty your way. And I will see you right back here at 70 Acres Studio with our next little project. Not sure what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be something. And I hope to see you over on Patreon and in the Facebook group. So until the next time, I will talk to you very soon. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy.